Well, folks, we ran out of money, so we can't go camping. So we're going to be doing some hiking today. It's late in the afternoon, and hopefully we're going to hike Hawksbill Mountain, which has a beautiful sunset. If there's any sunset today, it's clear blue sky, so I don't know if that'll be sunsetty or not. He's got his hiking stick already. Give me a... But it's a Monday, so we're hoping that there's not many people here. And so let's hit the trail. So we're on the east side of the Linville Gorge. It's not a very good map for reflectivity, but the gorge itself is wilderness, but the peaks of the mountain are not. So I'm hoping I could get a little drone time. And of course there's nobody here. There are 4 cars in the parking lot, but this is a pretty short trail, and there's a whole set of 20-mile trails around this gorge, so hopefully they just parked here and hiked down the gorge. But no huffing and puffing. We spent 2 hours yesterday mowing the lawn. It took most of our huffing and puffing. We're doing a lot of walking into the sun. And with my normally dirty lenses, it's not going to be a pretty video. So I might take most of these coming back and just put them in the front. So you'll understand. Of course, we are hiking to the top of a mountain, so most of this trail is uphill. So a few huffs and puffs. Okay. Well, I wonder if those rocks got there when they were building the trail or afterwards, because I'm always a little leery of unstable trails where the rocks and boulders move around. It's got hard. We've only got a mile, and it's been an hour. Not counting running back and forth for the camera, of course. And I just realized that I left Akela's leash on a tree where we cleaned up some poop. So I set it down and forgot to pick it back up. We'll get it on the way back down. I'll be able to smell where it is. Okay, this is getting kind of ridiculous. Not getting any easier. And there are these little cut-arounds that people take, and they've boarded this one up with a rock because of the erosion and the problems they cause. But this looks like a tough little piece to get up. I'm going to assume that this is the top, though who knows, I could be wrong. We definitely are out of wind. Akela says this is the top. He says then we're all alone. It's not too cold. not too hot. It's just about 62, 63 degrees. And that is the Linville Gorge. That's Table Rock Mountain there. And beyond Table Rock are the chimneys. This mountain that's all full of holes and towers and stuff. And then way down there, I'm not sure what that is. And somewhere way over there we live. I'm not sure what these are. They look like starflowers, but they're a little on the tiny side. They're really little. Well, hello folks. We are at the top of Hawksbill Mountain. Not the very top, because the wind was too much, so I had to find a little hole off to one side, and I think you'll still hear a lot of wind. Let me fix this a little bit more. I figured while we waited for a possible sunset, I'll answer a couple questions. I get a lot of questions on comments and places in the videos. So some of the questions I get is, now that I'm retired, will I start doing daily videos to up the channel? And I don't think so. I'm more busy now than I was before, working on the 2A-liners and figuring out my plans for travel and food and all that stuff. It's crazy. And I have to be somewhat cognizant of how much money I'm spending now, of course, because the money isn't flowing in quite as heavy as it was. I was making a lot of money that I could really dispose of pretty quickly. Besides that, it takes Akela 2 to 3 days to edit a video, and it's a lot of work. So we're not going to be doing too many more videos. We might do shorts here and there, because they're so easy. You just do them and upload them. But I actually hate shorts. I don't like watching them. I don't like doing them. They're kind of a pain in the neck. Where are you? Oh, geez, look at that. He's scouring the mountain for sticks, for logs. Somebody asked, will I do a viewer rally now that I've got 10,000 subscribers? And personally, I don't know that that's enough viewers to actually have a rally. I'd like to have more than 1 or 2. I did open it up to say that I'll be in Treman State Park in Ithaca the week before July 4th. If people want to meet me, that's fine. And I'll also be up in Dolly Cop Campground in New Hampshire in August. I don't know the date. But if you're really interested in meeting me up in the next couple weeks, or in July or August, tell me where you're near, and I'll tell you where I might be that we could maybe meet up. But I don't usually stay any place longer than 2 nights, 3 days. So I get in around noon, set up camp, run around, do some video, and then the next day we kind of relax and work on the video and get anything we missed. And then the next day is wake up, eat, camp, pack up, and get out. Because I usually like to go, sometimes I go Saturday night or the night before. I like to have 2 nights so that I can leave at 9 or 10 o'clock at night if I want to, and not worry about being in the site for so long. Somebody asked me if I was going to do any more cooking videos, and I guess I will. In fact, you probably saw last week's video is a cooking video. I did some cooking on a camping trip up in the mountains. Some easy stuff. I'm not going to do any big cooking videos like the chili I did, or what else did I do? I did some granola, and I did some other crazy soups and stuff like that. Those are pretty hard to do on the trail. But I do occasionally cook on the trail, and unlike some YouTubers who make grilled cheese sandwiches all the time or fried egg sandwiches, I do real food. And I don't generally do steak because it's too expensive and it's not good for you as far as meat goes. I got enough cholesterol already, but I do a lot of fancy chicken dishes and fancy vegetable dishes. So I'll probably get some of those into the videos in the future, because especially now that I'm traveling without a lot of money, I can't eat out much. So I'll do some. Am I getting rid of the A-liner? And no. No, I just spent about $1,000 on the A-liner to get the battery and the solar and an inverter and everything all set up so I can actually use the A-liner and edit videos. Before, I didn't have power for my laptop. My laptop is a powerful laptop, and the batteries, I have 2 batteries for it, and each one of them only lasts about an hour and a half, and it takes about 5 to 6 hours to just get the video software to recognize the video. So then I have to edit it. So it takes a long time. Somebody asked me one of the questions, and I answered this in the comments, but I figured this may be a popular question. One of the questions they asked was, where's the best place to get your A-liner fixed? And with any RV, the best place to get your RV fixed is at home. Do it yourself, so you know it's done right. You know how it's done, and you know what's wrong with it if it goes bad again. There's a guy named John Fall who has a Facebook page, A-liner, Midwest A-liner Repair, I think it's called, on Facebook, and he answers a lot of questions and tells people how to fix things. He does a lot of repairs, but boy, he's packed. He's busy as a one-armed paper hanger. So that's the only place I know to get your A-liner fixed. Most people have no clue what they are, how they work, or anything. So it's tough to take them to a real RV dealer. And most of the RV dealers, like any place else, are having a hard time finding real mechanics, real RV techs that know what they're doing. Most of the people that are real certified RV techs are working on the road. They have their own campers and they move around, and they may do local stuff when they're at home, but it's real hard to find an RV tech that really knows what they're doing. How do I feel about A-liner quality-wise? And I just bought this Wolf Pup, and I looked at E-Pros, I looked at all sorts of Forest Rivers, because I think they're pretty good built for a little camper. I looked at the Winnebagos and the Airstreams, and I looked at tons and tons of campers over the last 2 years. I went to all the RV shows, and it just amazes me that a camper comes to an RV show and looks as bad as they look. Because some of them just look like they're falling apart already. The weather stripping's falling off, the axles are not right, and so I think technically there is no guarantee on an RV. If you meet a dealer that says he'll warranty it for a year, you're lucky, especially if he stands behind it. 90% of the dealers I've worked with, and I've dealt with a lot of different camping worlds. There's camping worlds everywhere. I've dealt with a lot of RV inns and a couple of other places, and they do not guarantee an RV. You take it off the lot and go down the road, they're going to say you hit a pothole and wrecked it. It's not our fault. So the RV, an RV, especially a travel trailer, is a rolling earthquake that you don't know what's going on with it. Now, a motorhome, you probably know what you're driving through and how you're wrecking it, but travel trailers, they go through places, and my A-liner has gone through the backwoods where there are no roads. I mean, it's gone places where you have to keep going so fast so you don't get stuck. And it's been beat up by trees, it's been hit by bushes and rocks and sticks, and it's one of the reasons I got it lifted, is because I was dragging it over rocks and stuff for a long time. I took it through a swamp once that got water inside it. And it's been 10 years. I mean, it's a 2008. So tell me, with that kind of abuse on a foam
It's basically a foam cooler. Would you expect it to last that long? So I'm pretty pleased with it. Yeah, when I first got it, I changed the axle and lifted it up. I took it in for some other modifications and did a lot of modifications myself. But I think it's a great thing. The best thing about it is, of course, is you can practically do everything on it yourself. You can do all the repairs, all the work yourself. There's plenty of resources out there to maintain them and keep them. And you can turn them into, you know, a park model. Just plug it in and live in it while you're staying at a resort, or you can make it a boondocking monster. It's they do everything. So, and they've got everything in them except a bathroom. The only thing it's really missing is a bathroom. And A-Liner's trying to take care of that issue, but I think they're missing the boat, because the problem with any RV is condensation. And when they try to put a shower inside the A-Liner, you're just talking about total destruction to the A-Liner in a very short time. Another question is, how did I pick my Wolf Pup? Is my next trailer, and mostly, as I said, going to shows, comparing models. I looked at a lot of them while on the road, potentially to buy them, and I saw a lot of issues with them. And I did learn that they were a small, inexpensive trailer that has bunk beds. It has 2 bunk beds, it has a dinette bed, and it has a queen size bed. So typically a family of 5 or 6 could buy that and think they're going to go camping and RVing and have a great time in it. But I'll tell you, like the A-Liner, it is small. You need floor space for people to move around. And the new ones have a slide out. But to me, a slide out is trouble. You got a big, expensive $100,000 RV, slide outs may be a little better, taken care of, better built, better designed. But the Wolf Pup is a beginner's RV, priced cheap. And again, it has all the good parts. It has a full bathroom, dry bathroom. It has bunk beds. It has dinette, big bed. It has furnace, air conditioning, just like a real full-size RV, but it's only, my 16 foot is 21 foot long, so it's not hard to maneuver and work, and it's got a ton of storage in it. And once I get all my solar and batteries and everything in it, we'll see how much of that storage is left over. But I really like it. The other thing that on that particular one is I had to look at a lot of them to find one with a propane fridge that was a full-size propane fridge. There's a couple of them that have the little propane fridge like the A-Liner has, and I really wanted something a little bigger, although the truth is I've never filled the A-Liner fridge with food. It's just not possible for me to eat that much. I just don't eat that much when I'm traveling. Have I had any offers for companies to be sponsors? I have had dozens and dozens of companies ask me if I would review their stuff on my channel. If you saw my review of the hammock, that was one of them that I thought I might review, but I get tons of them. Sunglasses. I told a company for sunglasses, if they send me a box of sunglasses, I'll review them and send them out to all you guys. I'll give them away. But I'm not reviewing jackeries and batteries and light bulbs and flashlights and shoelaces and all this stuff that these people send me that are like $5 items that are just like a waste. I mean, I get this question a lot. Where's the best boondocking site by so-and-so town? And, you know, the pandemic put everybody outside, and the boondocking places are being trashed. And so I don't give out boondocking sites anymore on the channel. If I know you, you're a longtime subscriber, and you're coming, you know, on the way through, and I might can give you a couple of spots to boondock. But as far as my considerations are, the best boondocking sites are national forests. If you go on the National Forest webpage, find the district you're going through and where, and there's a list of places you can camp. Dispersed camping is very frequently tent camping, meaning you can't drive into it. But a lot of times they'll have information that the camping is right side of the road or someplace close. So you want good boondocking sites, look for National Forest Service forests, BLM land, places like that in the east. I don't know the west. So another question I've got is, what kind of trailer do I recommend? And I can't answer that for anybody else. I recommend the trailer that you like the best. There was a YouTube channel, I think, called The Kennedys, and it was a family of 12 in a Class C, and they were so happy. And they did all this stuff, traveling all over. They had a great channel, and somebody gave them a Newmar, big old Class A, and Newmar Dutch Star, I think they had. And suddenly they had bunk rooms and all this stuff, 2 bathrooms. They were just ecstatic. And I don't think their channel's on anymore. I think they went off, but it was a pretty interesting channel, and they were outdoor athletes, X Game participants, and real neat channel. I watched it for a couple years, and then it just disappeared. One of my questions I used to get a lot, and I haven't seen it in a while, but I'll tell you anyways, is what did I do in my job? And I was in charge of safety and health for most of the companies I worked for. I worked for 7 huge companies: Carrier Corporation, Chrysler, Chinet, Daimler Trucks, Freightliner, Huhtamaki, big wallpaper company, and I did consulting for Kennedy Valve and Ingersoll Rand and all sorts of other companies that I did training for them. And I did train people on what's a safe way to do things, what the OSHA requirements are for evacuations and fire extinguishers and all that stuff, lockout, tag out, keeping people from getting hurt. And then my specialty, my superpower, was changing the culture and getting people to understand the value they have in having a safe life. And it carries over to not just work, but being home and not doing stupid things like climbing on the roof when it's an ice storm out and trying to break off the ice, or doing your own electrical and things like that they don't really know what they're doing. It's telling people to think twice and do it safe. So that was my real job. And we had when I worked at Daimler, the management there really believed that safety was disciplinary, and that's not true. Anything you do disciplinary, you're going to get the opposite results. So my response was always train, explain, and try to let people understand the value of not getting hurt. I mean, I knew a lot of people that had amputated fingers and toes and arms and, broken backs and things like that because prior people didn't care. And, it was the employees is just being stupid. And it was my job to tell the employees that they need to look for safety issues and report them and get them fixed so that they don't get hurt. And it was often puts me in conflict with management. And when I got a new manager back in April, he decided that I just wasn't going to work with me, and I wasn't going to work for him for very long. So he had the idea that when I was there over a year, he was there over a year, I was gone. But sometimes you need a kick in the ass to get something done. And I had all the work done to retire back in October. And my retirement money, it was invested in the market. And the market went down about 15-20% on my side. And I thought, geez, before I retire, I'll build that back up, which is just foolish because it'll just come back up. But so I was hanging on, and it's like I just had excuses for not leaving. And I had a big calendar in my house with April 4th that I had to be gone by April 4th or I wouldn't have time to plan my trip up through Maine and everything like that. And so it's not a bad thing that I got kicked out. I don't like the way they did it. I think they were jerks, and they're jerks. But that's a whole nother thing. Where will you be going next? I'm going to Indian Boundary Campsite down near Tellico Plains. the first week of May, and we're going to camp there for 2 or 3 days, and then we're going to go down into Sitico River free sites, and we might go up the Tellico River free sites. So I might be down there for 5 to 7 days. I don't know how long. We're going to go and hike around the Joyce Kilmer Forest again. We did a video on that a while back. We're going to get out and around a little bit more. I didn't have as much time when I was there because I was on a weekend when I was there. But we're gonna do that the first week of May. Beyond that, the next thing I know is I'm going to the A-Liner Rally. And I won't be at the A-Liner Rally camping. I'm going to camp at Laurel Hills State Park. The A-Liner Rally is at Mountain Pines, and it's a RV park where they're going to be kind of squeezed in, so I don't want to go there. They went there last time they went to the factory, but I will be at the factory tour. I will be at the dinners and things like that. So if you're at the A-Liner thing, say hi to me, please. I want to know who the people's faces are. And then on the last page, somebody scribbled this on the last page. You see that scribbly stuff? That was not part of the questions, but I don't know who was doing this, but he's standing over here waiting to hear me say it. But it says, when is Akela's birthday and how old is he? See him? He's listening. His birthday is April 29th, which is a week from today. And he's going to be 5. And he thinks he's going to kindergarten. He thinks he's going to school with the little kids, but he's not. His schooling days are probably over unless I beat him into something. But if you want to send him money, birthday gifts for Akela, below me over here, there's a button that says give thanks. And it's got a little $sign inside of it. And you can now, I've got this finally on the screen, you can now give me a tip, so to speak, and I think you can give almost up to $100, or you can give $1, whichever you want to give. Feel whatever your heart desires. I'm not going to do Patreon, because Patreon actually is owned by YouTube. I mean, it's just more money for YouTube, and they take a cut, and YouTube takes a cut. But the good thing is, if I see you give me a tip from below, it's real easy. It's a one-time thing. I need input from you guys. I need a comment on whether or not you notice that there's no mid-roll ads, or if there are mid-roll ads, because I've got mid-roll ads turned off. The videos should be clean with no ad in the middle. Okay, ad at the beginning, ad at the end. You can skip through them, but there should be no ad in the middle. So let me know if there are. So I think that's the end. If you have questions, feel free to leave them. I'll answer them in the comments, and then I'll just save them for a video like this. If you do you see this idiot? This idiot? He's just sitting here with this stick in his mouth. This is what I have to put up with all the time. This is what he does at home. He just sits and stares at me, thinking I'm going to play with him. I'm going to take this out of the way. He found his stick. He's so happy. All right. We're going to go up and see if we can catch a sunset. Stay tuned for a little drone video and maybe some time-lapse sunset. All right? Thanks for watching, folks. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Thumbs up. And we hope to see you on the next video. Bye-bye.